Okay, yo, what's up, guys? Niner Paniner here. So today we are having a free seminar. Unfortunately, by the time you see this, it would have already happened. But free seminar, we're expecting about 50 people here today because we're so popular and we're the best. But it is a seminar by Sam Chu. Okay, for those who you may not know, he's Chewy, our coach's younger brother, also the first Malaysian to ever medal at Worlds for Jiu-Jitsu, the gi. And he's just overall a great guy, okay? But why is there a free seminar here today? Well, besides me being handsome and generous and tall and funny, there's actually a special surprise that's happening today, which you would have seen this already because it already happened, but Joey's getting his black belt. So yeah, today is a special day. I'm so excited. Hope you guys enjoy. Bye.
Well, thanks for coming today. I'm very excited. Today we'll be working on some X guards. We're going to cover some entries into the X guard, okay? And then we're also going to look at a couple of options for sweeps, submissions, and then lastly some back takes. And if we have some time, we'll cover some Q&A as well. So we'll start off with a quick entry into the X guard position, okay? Probably a very fundamental position would be the half guard. Okay, so we're going to start on my partner with both knees here. And then whenever we're in half guard, we just want to be defensively responsible, where I'm also always managing my distance here, not allowing him to sort of get past my knee line, for example, get into the chest-to-chest half guard, exactly. Or like just ever so like be able to get the cross face here on my head, okay? So commonly I always want to have my inside frames, okay? Preferably one hand on the shoulder and one hand on the sort of bicep here as well, okay? You can also create like a cross collar grip, like so, just a frame. But usually I'm not sort of like using that to actively pull because obviously that's going to be sort of like putting the pressure on myself. So I use that to frame, so keep him at bay as well, okay? If we spin around, my bottom knee, I always try to use my shoelaces to hook onto the calf as well, so that it's a little harder for him to get up on his feet too, okay? So if I need to, I can sort of put a bit of weight down and sort of extend my bottom leg too, okay? With that being said, the knee as well, I don't want to allow jig to sort of cover my knee, okay? Because now it's going to make it hard for me to look to get into entries too, okay? So you just need to set up the very good foundation here and make sure that, again, we're very defensively responsible and not allowing him to sort of enter our inner space here, okay? So commonly we're going to look to have a collar and sleeve, okay? But I'm going to look to transition into a collar and pants grip instead, just like so, okay? And sometimes it's hard to make the grip around the knee, okay? So I try to make the grip just below the knee line, around the calf here, just like so, okay? Right above the calf, all right? And commonly, because I'm so exposed in this position, jig will easily make that collar grip on me, okay? So I have a cross collar grip as well as the pant grip here, all right? So we're going to look to start to off balance my partner, but I look to coming up on my elbow post here, just like so, okay? And what we're going to look to do is I'm going to look to push him off, and he's going to have to post his hand on the mat, all right? So as I push him off, he's going to look to post his hand on the mat, just like so, okay? When we sort of off balance our partner, I want to make sure that I'm still keeping my knee shield sort of like intact, all right? Obviously, we're going to use that knee shield as well to sort of bump him off, but I want to keep my knee shield up, and I don't want to have my knee shield down because in the moment when we do pull him back in, we might end up in chest-to-chest half guard again, okay? So we want to be, again, defensively sound in this position, okay? So again, I'm going to look to make contact, collar, and then pants grip here, just like so. We come up on the elbow, I do a forward bump, and he's going to post his hands on the mat. Once we get to here, I want to try and get my bottom knee all the way in. So I slide it a little underneath my partner, all right? And now as I pull everything across, I'm going to bring my knee into the crook of my elbow here, and that's going to support my cross collar grip. So to bump everything across, he's going to post his hand towards the other side, okay? Once we get to here, we are looking to enter into the X guard, but if I just throw my leg over the top, okay, maybe if I'm against someone that's not sort of reacting, okay, it's easy to just insert my X guard here. But obviously, Jig's going to try and like put his knee back down towards the mat, and it's going to maybe be hard for me to make that X guard again, especially when it's like kind of halfway between his knee halfway through between the mat. I might have like a loose sort of X guard here. So very importantly, I want to make sure I push his knee all the way up towards my belly button, okay? And now I can easily plant my sort of like outside hook on the X guard, just like so. And I don't need to require any sort of like flexibility here to have this X guard, okay? Spin around. Once we do get to here, I just want to look to kick off with the outside hook and try to hide my bottom leg here, okay? And then we can enter into our basic single leg X, all right? And you can stop here for now. If you know any sweeps, you can sort of finish it off with that. But we're just gonna start with this entry to begin with, okay? We'll grab our partners, we'll go 2 for 2, we'll swap around. All right, let's go. 1, 2. Worry again. All right, guys, just time real quick. We're just gonna fix up a couple of details on this entry, okay? And we can also look at when my partner's on their feet as well, okay? Just a bit of extras from this entry. So again, we're starting on both knees, half guard, all right? I have a cross collar grip, and I'm just framing here on the bicep to begin with, all right? I can look to move around and grab on the pan grips here, okay? But if jig is like staying very far, it's hard to reach here, okay? So I want to come out on my elbow post, and I can sort of like elbow scoot all the way around so I can make that grip here, just like so, okay? It's a little hard to make a grip. Yeah, cool. So once we do make that grip, commonly my partner's gonna make my collar grip on my own collar too, okay? Because what he's trying to do, of course, he's trying to put pressure in and trying to put me down back on the mat, okay? So I need to stay strong here and stay on my elbow, okay? And next thing I want to do, I want to look to immediately make him post his hand on the mat so that it's no longer on my collar, all right? So just make sure you're communicating with your partner in this position. If they're not holding on towards your collar, let them know that, hey, just when you do get there, just hold on towards my collar first, and now it makes it easier for me to perform that off balance here, all right? Once we do get there, scoot a little under with my bottom leg, and now a little small detail is I like to use my top knee, okay, and put it inside the crook of my elbow. They'll then support my arm to drag him all the way across towards the left-hand side, all right? And now from here, as I mentioned, if his knee currently in this current state is fairly closer towards the ground, he can easily just plant his knee down on the mat, okay? So I need to make sure I push it all the way up towards my belly. Then I can easily make that single leg X hook, okay? We'll push off, then I can hide my bottom leg, okay? We can just hold with the single leg X with the overhook, or if you prefer to switch underhook, you can feel free to do so as well, okay? So just fix out those couple of details. And I also want to give you another option as well when my partner's up on the reverse de la Riva, for example, okay? As we know, reverse de la Riva, I always want to have my foot pointing towards my partner's hip here, okay? So near side hip to begin with. Okay, so he pulls out. So in this position, okay? Commonly we'll have a collar and sleeve, all right? So now, if I want to try and look to get that sort of pan grip, it's a little harder because obviously he's a bit more dynamic. He has more height on me as well, okay? So what I generally like to do, we'll spin around. When I get here, we can make a shin-to-shin hook on my partner just like so, and I can look to extend out, okay? Once I can sort of push his knee down towards the mat, I can switch my reverse de la Riva hook back down towards the half guard hook again, okay? So from here, as we extend the knee down towards the mat, I'll switch my shoelaces down on the calf and get my knee shield back in again, okay? So once again, so when my partner's up, I can go shin to shin, we'll drive the knee down, I switch towards the hook, and then we can get into this position. Just get your partner to drop the knee down on the mat, and I can come back again, off balance, scoop under, and then get back to single leg X, okay? So just a little extra detail in the entry. Not too many changes from here. We're just gonna just make those adjustments, and then we'll come back in, get some sweeps going. Okay, let's go. 1, 2. Thanks, man. All right, that's time, guys. Now we're gonna work on a sweep. Well, we can sort of like work on into a triangle, okay, or a sort of a base, sort of overhead sweep from there as well later on, okay. I prefer sort of like doing it on the left-hand side. So I think this is one of the techniques where you can sort of like this entry in particular, because it's quite fundamental, you can actually do it on both sides as well. Like my preference is where I can, like I like to enter, like personally, I like to enter the X guard towards the left-hand side as well, okay? So you can actually do it both ways. For example, off balance, scoot under, push it up, and then get into your X guard as well, okay? So once we're in this like X guard position, okay, where I can, obviously my goal here is to try and like get Jig's foot off the mat, okay? Anytime he's able to plant his foot down on the mat, he's able to sort of pressure in and start to like cause problems from here, okay? So I want to have like a strong sort of like stepping on him so he can't sort of put pressure in, okay? One sort of adjustment that I would like to make, well actually 2 adjustments, is I can switch to an X guard, okay? And then I can switch to an underhook as well, which you saw earlier, okay? The sort of order, it doesn't really matter too much. It's just when you have the opportunity, you can either choose to switch the underhook first, or scoop up the leg first, or switching your X guard. So we can first talk about the scooping out the leg. Just make sure that when I do release the collar grip, I'm grabbing the back of the knee here, just like so, okay? So I can look to insert my scoop grip down the leg here, okay? Preferably, I would like to have his shin on my bicep and not too high, because right now I'm carrying a lot of his weight on my shoulders here, okay? So generally, I just like to keep it so shallow on my bicep, just like so, okay? And now you switch back into a collar grip, or if you like same side collar, okay? So on and so forth, all right? So that's in terms of scooping out the leg, okay? Very importantly, I always want to make sure I grab wrist deep at the back of his knee, okay? I don't want to just go scoop in and now he withdraws his leg, I'll just pull it out. And now we miss the whole leg there, okay? So from here, I'm always securing, so he can't run away. I scoop the leg up, just like so, right on the bicep, and go back towards our grip here, okay? So once we get to an underhook, or before I even get to the underhook, I can also want to look at the second concept, which is getting into an X guard, okay? So there's sort of two forms of X guard here, okay? You can have a near side hook, which is my preference here, okay? Because once you do get to this inside hook X guard or the near side hook, okay, I like to call it just the inside hook, where I'm sort of having the sole of my foot sort of posting on his rib here, just like that, okay? And so I can sort of push him away and keep his weight away from me. See how even though I have like an overhook, I can keep his foot off the mat, okay? So that's the sort of advantage of this inside hook. That's why I like to sort of use this one, okay? However, if you're not too flexible, for example, I'll spin it around real quick. If you're not too flexible or you find it hard to sort of maintain this inside hook, you could go back to your traditional X guard as well, hooking on the far side. Just make sure that you are going all the way up towards the hip flexor and not having your foot slightly down towards the thigh here, okay? So the sort of differences, the pros and cons to each, where with this traditional one, so if Jigsaw pressures in, all right, it's harder for me to push him away, okay? Where you can see he can easily come up on his feet. But right now, if he does want to like step forwards, it's a little harder because I am like sort of minding that left hip here. So if he tries to step forwards, for example, I'm always like blocking his hip, okay? As compared to this one, for example, if I have the inside hook, if he steps forwards, there's nothing stopping him from stepping forward, okay? So there's pros and cons. So maybe more so when he stands up, I will switch towards the traditional X guard, okay, the far side hook, okay? But generally when I am able to keep him down on one knee, which is most of where our attacks are gonna be, I will switch back towards the inside hook here, okay? And I can sort of push him off and keep most of his weight down on this knee here, okay? So we're starting from a single leg X, okay? You guys can start either the right hand side or the left hand side, okay? Initially we had that collar grip as well as the pan grip here, okay? So I can first look to get the scoop on this leg, all right? Switch back towards the collar grip, I switch towards this hip grip, inside hook, just like that, okay? Once we get to here, we can now start to initiate our attacks, okay? The first one, which is gonna be, generally my partner, when they're here, they're gonna grab on either collar, near side collar or far side collar. But let's just pretend that he's gonna grab on this other collar to begin with. So from here, generally what I like to do is I like to feed it towards my scoop grip hand, okay? Which what I call the same side collar control, same side sleeve control, okay? So right now, I'm controlling both of his legs and one extra arm as well, okay? So right now he only has one free hand to post on the mat, okay? So we're gonna use this one same side sleeve concept, okay, to sort of capitalize and move into our attacks from here. First thing I wanna look to do is I wanna push him away and sit up, all right? So once I look to push him away and sit up, I want your partner to sort of cooperate in this position by like looking to stay strong in this position and like sort of posting on the knee here, just like that, okay? Now, it doesn't have to be too far, but just stay strong here, okay? And not when I look to sit up and they fall on the hip. Okay? Obviously when they do, I can immediately get up and score my points from here, okay? So again, nice and easy sweep, all right? However, most commonly, as soon as I look to sit up, they're gonna look to put pressure in as well and stay strong on their knee, okay? Which is very common here, all right? First offense that we're gonna look to go for is the triangle, okay? So I'm gonna look to pull on the collar grip, all right? And I'm gonna look to bring my knees towards my chest, okay? Once I'm able to load him up in this position, see how I sit back on my back, I'm able to sort of extend both legs. I capture this diamond triangle, just like so, okay? Once we get to here, spin around. We're not gonna go through in detail how to finish a triangle, but a little tip from here, especially when we have the same side sleeve, is I like to go behind this arm and grab a hold of my own shin here, just like so, okay? And now I can look to pivot from here. I can either scoop on the far side leg or even the arm, whichever is more accessible. Look to pivot from here and make sure I have my left knee covering this shoulder here. Okay, you look to high step and lock up the triangle and get the submission from here. Okay, so just a basic sort of triangle from this single leg X position. Okay, shall we just do that first to begin with, actually, and then we'll work on the sweep after? All right, we'll grab our partners 2 for 2. Let's go. 1, 2. Thank you, sir. That's time, guys. Let's just get around. We'll move on to a nice cheeky overhead sweep now. Just if you do have any questions in between, just make sure you raise your hand up and I'll come to you and we can sort of fix up or like ask any questions if you like, okay? So let's get into it. So this sweep is fairly simple, okay? But I like to use this sweep especially when they're sort of like hesitant to sort of get into my triangle and they sort of back out. So I can use this to sort of get under them and sort of potentially sweep them as well, okay? So starting off from the single leg X, okay? So start off with your entry, single leg X. I'll switch towards my scoop grip, okay? And then switch back towards the collar grip, okay? Most likely they're gonna look to get the collar as well, so we'll switch towards the same side sleeve too, all right? And now from here, get our inside hook, all right? So we've done a lot of work and understanding the concept in this position, okay? And also we also worked on sitting up and shooting into a triangle, okay? But now from here, let's say that maybe your opponent or your partner knows that we're gonna shoot the triangle, so the way we sort of initiate is by pulling in and sort of launching our legs over, okay? So he knows that we're trying to do that, all right? So it's almost like sitting back, okay? It makes it hard for us to sort of launch him in this position, okay? So what we want to look to do here, we're gonna look to use that same concept of scooping under our partner, bring our knees towards our chest, but we're gonna sort of load him up and do an overhead sweep from here, okay? The goal is to pull his shoulder closer towards my shoulder, especially this inner side shoulder here. And how we can do that is using the cross collar grip here, okay? So from here, we're sitting up. Now I know that he's sort of sitting back. I'll go back on my butt. See how I bring my knees towards my chest and load him up onto me in the same fashion. But because the sort of tension of him like sort of loading his weight back, it's a little hard to get into the triangle. So now I'm gonna load him up onto me, just like so. I wanna bring his right shoulder down on the mat. Just like that, okay? Now in this position, what I wanna do is we're just gonna roll on our right shoulder, put our hips down on the mat, okay? So our left hip is down on the mat, okay? And we can plant both feet down the mat just like so, okay? We release the collar grip so we don't get caught in a triangle. Come up for a nice and easy sweep from here, okay? So one more time. We're in the single leg X. Say we got our grip, all our grip controls from here. I look to sit up from here, okay? I feel my partner's like backing out because they know that we want to pull him onto us, okay? So now from here, I'm gonna scoop my hips under his hip, just like so, okay? Now from here, we first look to bring our knees towards my chest, all right? So he's like loaded onto us. Now I extend my leg and I want to pull his sort of right shoulder, this shoulder, down towards the mat, okay? And then I spin through, follow my hips, okay? Once I get to this position, the common mistake is that if I hold on to this collar grip and I need to come up, we get sucked in towards the triangle, okay? So we don't want to do that. I want to immediately release that collar grip, grab a hold of the pants grip if I could, okay? Drop both feet down the mat. Come up on the knee first if I need to, and come on my feet, okay? Now I can do the outside passing, for example, from here, okay? Nice and easy sweep, right? We'll go again, 2 for 2, let's go, 1, 2. Excellent. Alrighty guys, let's get around again. We're just gonna do one last technique, okay? And then we can get some rolls after. So we're gonna look at a back take right now, okay? From the X guard. So come back into our single leg X position, okay? Early on, we saw that we're trying to get under the legs, for example, preferably the scoop, and go to my X guard from here, okay? The inside hook, okay? Now, sometimes it is hard, for example, like for me to, maybe I'm not confident in like scooping under the legs, or he's just very tight with his legs here. It's hard for me to scoop under, okay? So in this case, I'll just keep the same grip that I had before, okay? However, what I will do is I'll go back into the inside hook here, where I will switch my single leg X foot back into inside here. Now I can carry his weight a little bit more on my legs, okay? And once we do switch that, I can look to push him off and keep his weight away from me, okay? Which then makes this left leg a little lighter, all right? So instead of scooping under, sometimes what I could do is I can get my elbow to sort of shelve his ankle here, just like so, okay? This time just without gripping. So I can look to shelve this leg here, okay? Now you do have the option of switching back to a scoop, okay? But in the interest of the back take, we're gonna look to pass this leg across, so we're not gonna look to go for the scoop grip now, okay? So what I wanna look to do here is I want to switch my hips towards the other side, okay? Right now in X guard, preferably I want to be on my right hip, my bottom hip here, okay? Of course, if I'm doing X guard and I have my left hip down, see how his foot comes down, and then he's able to build height and put weight on me, okay? And that's no good. So X guard, we want to be on the bottom hip, on the right hip here, okay? Doesn't matter if you're having like a overhook grip or scooping under the leg, okay? So now in this position, we're gonna look to attempt to switch sides, all right? But first thing I wanna look to do is I wanna make sure this leg doesn't come down on me, all right? So I'm gonna look to make an X on my partner's leg here, just like that, okay? You can go like in front or behind, whichever you prefer. But personally, I like to go my right hand behind the pants here, just like that, okay? So once I get to this position, I'm gonna look to switch my hips, all right? So I'll switch my right hip into my left hip here, just like so, okay? And now I wanna look to pass my head behind the foot here, just like that, okay? So once we get to here, see how am I facing the back of him? I'm no longer on my right hip, okay? And the advantage of this is that if he tries to turn and walk towards my his left, towards me, yeah, to his left, yeah, keep walking towards the left, it's a little harder here. Whereas if I'm on my right hip, if he tries to walk towards me, he's able to put his foot down, for example, and he can be able to start to pass from here as well, okay? So I can't be on my right hip. I need to switch towards my left hip, okay? So we'll come back. So we're here, X guard. We had the collar grip earlier, all right? Pick his leg up, make the X on the pants here, okay? Now switch my hips. Switch to the left hip now, okay? Pass it off, so my head's at the back of his ankle here, all right? Once we get to here, we're just gonna do a bit of footwork, all right? Where I wanna have my right foot go up towards his top hip here, okay? And now my left foot can go all the way across, all right? Now we can get into like almost like a 70-30 position, okay? Of course, I don't wanna be too excited and put my foot all the way through, because now he's able to sit on his butt and end up in 50-50, okay? So I wanna take the back, okay? So that's not what we want. So try to maintain the sole of your foot, stepping on the hip here. Switch around real quick. Yeah, cool. All right, just like that. So my bottom foot is gonna switch from the top inside hook all the way across towards the hip, preferably around the hip flexor. I don't wanna be too low where he can step over my leg. Yeah, you can push it down and step over my leg. Correct, and put us back into 50-50. All right, so we're in this position, all right? So now I wanna look to attach myself towards his lower body, all right, which is getting that drawstring grip or like the belt grip. But now see how it's too far for me to reach with my left hand. So what I can do is I need to realign myself. So I bring my head, almost like a sort of chest escape. So I bring my head a little closer towards his butt. All right, we'll spin it around. Spin it around real quick. Yeah. So from here, it's too far to reach. I bring myself around the corner. So it's a little easier for me to get that drawstring grip. Then the last piece of puzzle, I can then lift up and insert my crab hook here, just like so. Okay? Now the common mistake here is we get too excited with this back take, and I like to try to extend and try and like take the back, okay? See how my hook's not fully engaged in this position, and it's easy for Jig to start turning towards his right, and then start to maybe like come out on top and start passing from here as well, like keep turning towards your right. Right here. Yeah, and, right, this way. My right. Yeah, you're right. And face me. The other way, but okay. So, I don't want to be too loose in this position, right, when I do take the back. So what I want to do is, I want to look to, as soon as I release this hook, this sort of grip on the pants, I want to climb towards the mid-back here, okay? If you have long arms, you can go all the way back towards the back of the collar, but personally I find it a little harder, so we can just go on the mid-back, okay? What I want to do here, instead of extending, we're going to pull our knees towards my chest. So I'm going to pull everything in, knees towards my chest. Okay, now when I do extend, I want to push his hips so that his hip falls between my legs here. Just like so, okay? And now we can start to make our seat belt, okay? Now insert my hooks, okay? Commonly, just to keep it simple, fundamentals for you guys, then we can look to insert the hook where I have the arm over the shoulder, this way, okay? And we fall towards this side, insert the second hook, okay? Obviously, the advanced guys, you can look to insert the underhook side as well, okay? Just want to do a little faster now, okay? Just one last time, so you guys can have a look, the normal speed, because I did break it down, so every single step. So it may look like there's a lot of steps here, okay? But when you do it, there's a lot of like synergy that kind of goes on, so there's multiple steps are happening at the same time, okay? And that's what that's the level that you want to achieve when you try to take the back. So a little faster this time. So from here. Yeah, cool. Right, so that's like at full speed, okay? Obviously, we broke it down into a lot of minor steps there, okay? So one last one, 2 for 2, call out if you need help, okay? Let's go, 1, 2. Thanks, my man. We can do it a little differently. Like I said, today's a very special day, so we do want to work on a couple of different positions, very basic positions, okay? So how we're going to do this is we're going to form maybe a circle on the outside, okay? And we'll have a couple of people in the middle here, okay? So we just do like sort of like position advancements or any like sort of points or any submission, and then we just keep rotating out from there, okay? We're just going to get a couple of people down, probably about like 4 or 5 people to begin with. We'll get Big D, jump in. And then we'll also get Chewy as well to jump in. And then we'll get probably three more other people. Anyone wants to volunteer to jump in? All right, Joseph, jump in. 1. All right, Ashton, do you want to jump in as well? And then last one, pick a girl. Oh, Bless maybe. Join us, Bless. All right, let's jump in. All right, guys, how are we going to do this? Is so we have 5 people on the mats, okay? These 2, they can't switch out, okay? So they have to remain in the middle the whole time, okay? So we're going to do this for about like 40 minutes. All right, the rest, the 3 of you guys, you can keep rotating through, okay? All right, everyone ready? All right, let's go, guys. 1, 2.
Yo, so a brief explanation of what is actually happening. So Sam, Chu's brother, had this idea that, you know, because Chewy beats the shit out of everyone all the time because he's so good, you know, that we would Shark Tank him, right? So Chewy and David, the 2 guys getting promoted today, have been in there for 40 minutes straight from dominant positions, and it's like a rite of passage, you know? So they beat the shit out of us all the time, so today is our get back before their big moment. So just some context for you guys.
According to your belts. First of all, thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed today, the seminar earlier, and also the rounds we did earlier as well. Okay. So obviously today's a very special day. We've got a couple of guys who are probably way overdue for their promotions. Okay. So without further ado, Big D, come on up.
Alright guys, as you know, Big D has been giving me tough times in rounds, so I'll be ashamed if I don't promote. I'm doing the wind up, you know. I have to do it, so good job Big D. I think nobody here will question ability, fitness, and strength. Also, technique-wise though, getting better and better, right? Okay, so you well deserved blue belt, long overdue, okay?
Let's do this. The belt doesn't even fit him anymore.
Yeah, no more sandbagging for this guy, man. This guy keeps trying to do beginners in ADCC. Too much, man. This guy too much.
That's right. We'll do it for him the first time, and he's gonna have to learn how to tie his belt later on. All right. There we Good. Okay. One, two. Is there anything you want to say? Can you give a speech? Speech.
I mean, it's been a long journey and I meet a lot of new guys here. So thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for training with me. I really enjoy having you guys around my jiu-jitsu journey. Yeah, that's probably it.
Hey.
Give round of applause. Give round of applause. Come on.
Congrats, brother.
Thank you.
Stay over here with us. All right. So, of course, we can't come all the way here without having to think of our very loving instructor, Chewy. All right. From what I gather, he's built a very good community here at Fat Cat. Whenever we spoke about Fat Cat, he always thinks about the students and how I think one of the greatest feedback was that his classes are very well structured, and he also he cares a lot for the students, and hence why you guys always keep coming back for him and always keep continuing to learn from him as well. Okay. Apart from that, as you guys saw or felt from your roles with him earlier as well, he's also have a very mean butterfly guard, very technical as well in all other aspects, and yeah, it's my honor. Yeah.
It's probably an A3, that's why.
Right. Oh, hang on. There's only myself first. All right, let's go. 1, 2. Fucking wrong side. Sorry, wrong side. This way?
No.
Fuck.
This way, yeah.
I go this way though.
Okay. Okay. All right.
No, sorry.
No.
Oopsie.
Clearly, even a black belt doesn't know how to tie a belt, you know.
Is it what?
I don't know, man. Yeah, probably.
Shit, we gotta fix this. Sorry. Technical error. Is it right? No. You do it.
Okay, I think it's this way.
Got too excited.
Thank you.
All right. Speech.
Thank you everyone for coming. Obviously, I mean it means a lot to have my brother to give it to me. You know, thank you to Nini and Gobo for being able to host Sam. You know, bring Sam over. Yeah, I'm really happy to share this moment with you guys, and especially with my own brother. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. And of course, you guys are my own family here as well. You know, so it means a lot. Thank you guys. Thank you. Yeah.
Let's all stand up. We'll do a quick bow, and then we'll get a quick photo after.
We don't do bows here.
No bows here? We'll do a bow for.
Yeah, the Japanese guy wants to do bows. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. All right, let's go. 1, 2.
Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. We just finished up today. Sorry I put the shirt on. I'm a little bit sweaty. We had a 2-hour seminar and 2 hours of open mat, 1 hour technique. Sam taught X-Guard. For those of you who did miss it, couldn't make it, we will be posting the whole seminar up on YouTube or IG, something like this, for everyone to reference back and watch. And those that couldn't make it can watch it too. And yeah, we had a 1 hour Shark Tank. We promoted Chewy to black belt, David, Big D to blue belt. So super exciting day, super happy. I hope you guys tune in. Bunch more exciting stuff coming soon. You know, I'll keep you guys tuned in this year. What's up?